Welcome back to our next lesson on loci and constructions. Now, I do apologise. As you can most really hear, it's pretty windy out here, but I am going to try and edit out the wind as much as possible. And today we're going to go back to our straight line and work with the straight line. Before, what we were doing, we were cutting this perfectly in half. Okay, we'd get from each end, we'd find the centre point and we'd draw our line through it, creating a perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular means meeting at a right angle. But what happens is we have our line and we don't want it to meet at a right angle perfectly in the middle. What happens if we want it to meet in a right angle a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right? What happens if these builders here need to build a wall, which obviously needs to be perpendicular, but not in the centre of the room? Well, we can still use our compass to do that. Let's say, instead of having it bang in the centre now, we want our point, our perpendicular line, to cross here at this point. How could we possibly do it? Well, what we have to do is, using our compass again, is we have to make this point a centre point. And a centre point just means it's equal distance from both ends. So if we take our compass and pull it on the point we want to be central, if we mark a point here, and if we keep our compass exactly the same size and mark another point here, we know these 2 points we've just done are equal distance away from our centre. We now have this point in the centre. We now have a line with a centre point. And we know how to draw a perpendicular line through the centre. It's exactly what we were doing when we were bisecting lines. So once we've marked our 2 points on our line, okay, we now put our compass on each point. And we draw our arc like we did before. Keeping our compass the same length for both sides, we draw our arc this side. Keeping our compass exactly the same length, we go over to the other point we made on the line. We draw our arc again. Whoops. We now have our point here and our point here, which again, we get our ruler and we join up. We've now constructed a perpendicular line from the centre point. We marked our 2 points on the piece of wood. Once we had those 2 points, we cut those 2 points perfectly in half because we knew that point was the centre point. What happens though if our point is not on the line? What happens if we know we need this point here? For instance, one of these builders could be asked to put a light switch in a certain place, and it has to be bang in the middle of a certain point, maybe between the door and the window, or even the door and the light because they've only got so much about wires. What happens if we know that point has to join this line at a perpendicular point? Well, actually, we still do exactly the same method. We put our compass on the point, we give ourselves 2 reference points on our piece of wood, using our compass, because we now know these 2 reference points we just gave ourselves are equal distance away from our point. Which means now if we go back and put our compass on these 2 points, draw ourselves an arc here, put this on the reference point as well, and draw another arc, we now have a reference point here in line with this, going straight through those 2 points we made, meaning that this, when we join it together with a ruler, will create a perpendicular line. And we've drawn a perpendicular line from that point. We're simply giving ourselves 2 reference points on the line and joining it up after we've created our 2 arcs. So how do we construct a perpendicular line from a point then? Well, then the first step is always to make those 2 markings, okay? Equal distance away from the point on the line. This then puts our point in the middle of a line, doesn't it? It finds that central point. From those 2 points, we then conduct exactly the same routine we were doing when we were bisecting line as usual. Keeping our compass the same distance, creating an arc from one side, creating an arc from the other side, and joining them up. Meaning when those 2 lines meet, they are perpendicular to each other, which means they're creating right angles, which is very helpful when we're constructing walls, okay, when we wanted right angles in anything. I do hope you found today's video interesting. I do hope you heard it clearly. Like I said, I'm going to try and edit out as much of the wind as possible. And I hope you found these examples on the side here useful as well. That's all from me today. Join me again when we're going to look how we construct triangles using only compasses, protractors, pencils and rulers. Enjoy!